Okay, hello everyone, even though you've already been here with me. We're going to do a really casual, fun, interactive Canva training today so that you guys can learn and feel like this is a tool that you can really use to help yourself stand out on social media, and create all kinds of things even outside of social media, like ebooks or YouTube covers. We won't go over everything today, but hopefully from what I teach you, you're able to do all of these things. So before we get started, for those of you who are here live with us, I'd love to hear a little bit about your experience with Canva, how you're feeling right now about Canva. Maybe on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being an expert, 1 being I've never used it before. Where do you lie? 6, okay. 4, okay. 5, awesome. Okay. So before we dive into looking at Canva, I'm curious if you guys have any burning questions or any parts of Canva that are really challenging for you that you don't understand. And then I'll open it up for questions like throughout and at the end as well, if you come up with more questions as we're going. Go ahead, Jacqueline.
I'm just wondering if there's a huge difference between using Canva on your phone versus on like a computer.
Yeah.
If there's like things that aren't available when you just use it on your phone, because that's all I've done. And I'm wondering if that's why I'm running into trouble.
Oh, that's interesting. I do find that Canva is really frustrating on the phone. And unless I have like the biggest download come through and I just need to create the Canva thing right then, I really love using it on the computer. I think that the phone, I don't know that you can't do certain things on the phone, but it definitely is like not formatted right. Like if I do it on my, if I type something on my phone and I download it, even though it looks right on my phone, when it's downloaded, something will have shifted in the formatting. And when I go in my phone, it won't show me where that's messed up. I have to get onto the computer and then it's very obvious that the formatting was wrong. So I think there's a lot of power to utilizing it on your computer, because it's just going to be easier to work. And then maybe just going into your phone when you need to make small tweaks or grab something to download onto your phone. Okay, so we're going to come in here and we're going to do create quick collection, because what this is going to do is it's going to make a bunch of different sizes of things. So, and this is really, really a simple way to come in and use the templates. So we're going to check off some of the ones that we want to do. I'm going to stick to doing stuff that has to do with Instagram right now. Now, this is a really easy way to just get started when you're like super intimidated and you don't want to start off with just a white square and do it all yourself. But when you do it this way, when you're utilizing their quick create function like this, it isn't going to be like your beautiful, perfect creation that you're seeing. As you can see, they've already created these options for you. Let's see. I like this one because it has pink. Okay, so our main text, let's say that we want to share our top 5 tips about something. Atlas, mommy's over here, baby. We'll say about Healy. Top 5 tips to get the most out of your healing. And let's say in the additional text, you write, I don't know. We put your name, your like Instagram name. here it will allow you, when you click continue, it's going to bring you through all of these different things like, okay, I'm going to add my logo. These are just things that are already here uploaded because I use Canva. So let's say there's nothing that you have here and you want to upload your logo. If you don't have a logo, don't worry, you can make one in Canva. Come here, sweetheart, mommy's over here. Baby, you want to come over here? So let's say I also, oh, it's telling me not to use that picture because it needs to use one that's larger. So we'll just add here my logo. And then I liked this pink one. Oh, I don't know where, this one's fine. So you can click through here and change like some of the ways that you, oh, I want one that's fun. Of course, Robyn picked one that was fun already. And you can come through and change the fonts and change the colors. Come here, sweetheart. Hold on one second, guys. I'll be right back. So what's really cool about this is that it creates this for you without you having to be creative at all, without you having to know anything about how to place these different elements and photos and things onto the graphics, or even how to get different size images and graphics that you're making. So I think that this is a really powerful tool to use. That allows you to get started and do a lot without having to learn so much about Canva. So this is a great space to do these quick create collections. But I really want to go in and show you guys how you can create on your own and be more creative with Canva. So when you open up, we're going to just do, this is an Instagram post size. If you come up to this area here where it says resize, you can choose whatever sizes you want. If you want to do an ebook or you want to make a desktop wallpaper, and when you click more, it gives you like literally an enormous amount that you can choose from. And then if you keep coming down, it gives you even more shapes and sizes. So I use Canva to make everything that you guys have ever seen me making, like all of the ebooks, the cheat sheets. I use it for my human design readings. I use it for my courses that I create. I use it for social media. And when I first started using Canva, I was working for a CrossFit gym as their nutritionist and back office manager. And I had to take over the nutrition posts, and they already had like a graphic made, and it was just plugging a picture and some words into it. And I hated it. I just found it to be so boring. And I really would do everything to get out of having to do the Canva stuff. And like Jacqueline mentioned, I was always trying to do it on my phone. No, I don't have the free version, guys. I think that I'll answer that question here in just a second. And it really wasn't until I started using my own creativity to play around with Canva and get to do what I wanted to do with it and make it look the way I wanted it to look, that I started to get really good at using Canva and not so frustrated with like the features or how things looked. What's up, baby? You got Booby. So I pay for the Canva Pro. I think it's $12 a month. And I think it's entirely worth it because I use it for everything, like I said. And there are so many things that you get with the Canva Pro. For example, let's say you wanted to add graphics, you want to add some cool looking things. And let's say we want sisterhood, since I just saw those girls hugging each other. You can see that there's not very many things in here that don't have this little crown. So there's just a few things, but there's a lot that have a crown, and the crown means that you have to have pro to get to utilize it. So to me, it's an expense for my business that's well worth the $12 that it costs a month, but you do not need to have pro to create amazing things. You'll just have a little bit less to choose from in their data banks. Okay. So where you can start with doing a design, like let's say you want to do a post that is about you, like an about me post. You can start here in the design and the templates, and you can write in about me. And it will pull up these different templates that are already created for you. And you could get started. Like you could grab this and it'll upload all of what you just saw. And then what I think is really cool, it will then give you more that look similar to that view here in the corner. So you could say, oh, well, I really like that, but I actually love this one because I love pink, and that other one didn't have enough pink on it for me. And so then you would just tweak this to look the way that you want it to look, and say the things that you want it to say. What's that thing? So for example, we might, want to change this and put my name, and I don't know, maybe I put empathic mamahood here. Okay. And let's say I want to make this much smaller in font size. What's up, baby? Do you need your blankie? Give me just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back to. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so then you can change these different things that it's saying without having to create it layer by layer. But you can see when I hover over these things, these are all individual graphics that have been put on one at a time to create this whole look. So you can change that. You can also change the colors. So let's say I want it to be a brighter pink, and go through and change all of these. So when you click on them, it then gives you the color palette that it's used to create that, where I can come in and change the colors so that this way you're really creating it, even though it's a template, you're making it your own instead of it being just what Canva gave you. Because then even if other people are using the same template and they're creating an about me post, it still looks different, and it's still your own beautiful, unique creation from it, because you don't have to be able to come in and create something like this step by step. And in fact, use their templates when they speak to you and they work, because it's just saving you time, to not get in that space of feeling like it has to be perfect before you share it. I think that holds so many of us back. This idea that our things that we're birthing out into the world need to be perfect, perfectly curated and tested before we put them out there, because heaven forbid there be a mistake that somebody sees, or I think we use it all the time as a protective measure to say, just to not shine our lights, because we feel so nervous that if we do, and maybe it doesn't come out perfect the first time, that people will be judging us. But utilizing these templates are just a powerful way to get past that whole perfect, take that imperfect action, play around, see how things go, and then know that you can evolve over time. Like as you start sharing these on your social media, in the beginning, it might look clunky and might not be exactly what you envision it to look like. But over time, you can be able to go back and see, wow, like look how far I've come with being able to utilize this. And I think Canva is just like any other skill, just like using your Healy or riding a bike. You have to use it and you have to get in there and start playing around with it in order to get more confident with using it. So some other ways you can change things. So we can change out this photo. You can come here and let me grab a photo of me. See, here's one of me. I just grabbed it and drug it over. You can also like click on it. It will pop up on your screen like this, and you can wiggle it into that space. To upload your photos, it's super easy. You just click upload files and click on the photos or screenshots that you have that you want to upload. Now, let's say you want to change the font. So I'll start by saying, before I pull this down, I am a freak about fonts. They are very, very important to me. So I have uploaded an enormous amount of my own fonts, like even literally some that are my own handwriting that I have created. And also some that I've like purchased specifically for my brand that won't be on yours. But you can upload more fonts if you don't like the fonts that come traditionally on Canva. I keep wanting to say Instagram, guys, so I keep like stumbling to make sure I don't keep calling Canva Instagram. You'll see here I changed this font, and now I need the font to be bigger, and also I don't like the way that it looks with all of the capital letters. So you can see here that there's this lowercase and uppercase letters, and when you click on it, it changes them to all uppercase or puts it back to how it was actually typed out. Okay, so you can see that there's like a shadow now in the background. And if you wanted to change that, here on effects, you can come in and you can add all these different types of things. You can change the shadow to look like that. Oh my gosh. There's somebody at the door, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about all the interruptions today. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Okay, so you can change all kinds of things with the text here. This is where you can also make it so that besides the different shadow effects that you can also change it to be curved. And maybe you want it to just be a slight curve. This is part of how I made the Frequency Mama Community logo. That has like where it says Frequency Mama Community around the woman with the flowers coming out of her head, was utilizing this curvature to put around instead of it being just straight font. So let's see. Out of here. So you can see that you can search just about anything in here. Even if you weren't doing like a social media post and you wanted to put like an ebook, let's do an ebook page, you'll see that these are going to come up in this same shape, which is an Instagram post for ebook covers that you could then post on your Instagram as a post, but looks like the cover of the book. Now, it might not be the exact shape that you would use for your ebook, though your ebook could really be any shape you want it to be. And I think that that helps you to have it fit the screen that you're posting it on to be able to change them. But let's say that this one right here that I have ready to go, this is my post. I want this to be on the front page and I want it to be in my stories now. Now I don't want it to just be a post. So you'll press copy and resize. If you press just resize, then it will resize this one, but you won't have that Instagram post size to use. So I always just do copy and resize. So I have 2 copies of them, one as the original and one as this one. So you can see now that it came up, it looks a bit different, right? It's like it made it the size that I needed it for Instagram stories, but now there's just all this open space. So you could do a couple of different things. You can add more of these. Like if I copy this and let's say I want to put this one over here and just fill in that space with a few more of, with a few more of these little guys. Okay, or this, I just press this little button here at the top. It allows me to just make a copy of the exact page versus this button that allows you to just make a blank page. So another way that you can do this is to grab all of these things. And to do that, you'll hold down on your mouse and just slide down and make sure you capture, and you can see it capturing each of those elements. And then you can make them all bigger at one time. So let's say I think like, well, I like that fills up most of the page, but I do still want to add more of these elements to the empty space. Move it around so it doesn't look like it's the same thing. If you guys could see me on camera, I have a wiggly nursing baby who's trying to put his feet in my mouth. This is true mom. What is that word? Mompreneurship. Okay, so what questions do you guys have about what I've shown you so far? What's going on again? No questions.
No, you answered like everything that I had as questions already. It's like you intuitively knew exactly what I needed. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think this is such an amazing idea to do trainings on this. It was actually Jacqueline who brought this to me as an idea to do. And I think, you know, it's easy to forget when you've mastered something that it isn't so easy for other people. And when Jacqueline said that to me, I literally was brought back to that moment of when I was first asked to use Canva. And I was like, I hate this. I'll never use it in my own business. And now I create everything in it. So I'm hopeful that through showing you guys some of these things and how you can create different kinds of graphics and materials, that you'll feel inspired to create more and get more of you out there. So let's create a different type of post. Let's do like a video, like a moving kind of a real post. So we'll come back here and I'm on this screen that it first shows me like all of my things that I'm creating. And then I clicked on social media to show you guys these options that we have here. I think if we do video, it will give me a mobile video. You could choose mobile video. There's also an option for like Instagram Reel, or even an Instagram story is going to be that same size. So let's say that we want to make a post about Healy. And I think I have one here. If I pull it down. I had one ready that I wanted to show you guys. So let's pull it up really quick. So I'm going to show you guys how to make something like this. This is what it will look like. Apparently there's music on that one. So how you can make, and you don't have to make one that's this long or says all of these things on the Healy. I'm just working on different ways to talk about the Healy than I have previously. So let's even fix some of these ones because we can see that these don't fit this right. So we'll come back to this one. I want to show you guys how you can get started on this. So this is how I started, with just a blank screen. And in my recently used, you can see which ones came up. And I first had, I think, seen this one. I thought it was really pretty with the wildflowers in the back, and it's springtime. So I was using that. But let's look up something that has to do more with like frequency. So let's see what happens when we search frequency. Okay, we just get graphics. Let's look up healing. So let's see if any of these ones speak to me. Okay, so this one didn't pull up all too much. We'll grab this. And again, I really love that it does this for us, because as you could see, there weren't really much that it gave me to choose from. But now it's showing me more that are like this one. So I'm just showing you guys which other ones you can have to choose from. Like, say, oh, I really like that. And maybe, okay, now I think I'll do some different nature scenes. Some of them come with like sounds to them already. Yeah. Okay, buddy, you want to help me sit up and do this? I'm just gonna snuggle. You just popped off. You want more booby? Okay. So when you're making a video, you can upload your own videos, and this is something that is trending right now, using mundane videos of you doing mundane things like just making juice in the kitchen or walking around the backyard with your kids. And video that people don't really need to see the details of. It's just video in the background of you doing life, and then you put words over it. So you can make something like that in Instagram, in the Reels as well. But you can also make it from graphics that already exist of other things in the background like this. So let's say we want to take our wording from this first graphic here. I'm just going to copy all of this. What's wrong, sweetie? Okay, we're going to copy this and bring this over. Okay. So I've got my words. Say I want to keep in mind that if they go all the way up to the top, Instagram's going to cut them off. If I go over to the sides, Instagram's going to cut them off. So you want to try to have it in the middle, especially if you're not making this on Instagram Reels, where it gives you that the lines, and it tells you, if you go over here, it's going to be cut off. So I want to change, let's say I want to change the font so that it matches font that I use all the time. Again, you're changing the size of it so that it fits. And now I want this to have a background so that it isn't just like when we press play, it isn't just over the picture. I want it to have like a word box. And so to do that, we come here and we come to elements. Now you'll see that there are different sections in here. Recently used, of anything that you previously used, lines and shapes, and this is what we're going to use for what we're doing right now. Graphics, stickers are like more interactive. Photos, if you want to use stock photos of things instead of pictures of yourself, videos, etc. So I just clicked on this rounded square box and I'm going to put it here. You can either do it like I'm doing right now over the words, or what we're going to do anyway is position it back behind the words. So I just click position and I moved it back. Now, if I say to the back, it's going to go behind the video as well, and it won't come through as clearly. And sometimes if the video isn't like transparent, you won't see the square at all. So again, I just want to put it right behind the text, and I'm going to pull it out so that it matches. Now I want to make it a little bit see-through so you can kind of see the stars coming through, and that you'll click on this button here, transparency, and toggle it down till, okay, I can start seeing the stars come through, but they're still discernible, especially as you get down here in the lighter colors, there's still a discernible box. And now I'll check it out. Let's just delete that one because that was very loud. I don't like that. Okay, so I can see, maybe I want this to go longer. Okay, I'm gonna like, let's say 15 seconds is perfect for people to read this a couple of times. Oop. Come back. So I always check it. Well, I shouldn't say that. I try to check things before I post them. I am notorious for being too quick in posting them and then seeing I have mistakes and then having to repost it. So slow down and check your stuff beforehand if you can, so that you don't have to repost things like I do. I trial and error through life. So I just think it's funny and it doesn't bother me at all. When I post something and I see that there's like a spelling error, sometimes I don't even change it because I don't have time and the message is still the same, whether I put the I before the E or the E before the I. So, but I know that stuff really bothers some people, and also bothers people so much that they won't work with you because you spelled a word wrong. So to each his own how you feel about that. But I think like watching your stuff and interacting with it in this way, another thing that really helps me when I'm checking stuff is to read from the bottom up. So read the last sentence, then read the next sentence, and then read the next sentence, because it's not in a like linear storyline. You can catch things better because it's like a brain trick. They, instead of like, oh, well, I wrote this and I've read it 6 times and it sounds right to me. When you break it apart from the bottom up, you can catch mistakes easier. And that's just a trick that I learned a long time ago in school. Okay. So now let's just say that this is good for me. I don't need to add another slide. I really like how this transitions. I didn't realize that in the beginning until I slid it out, that there was more behind this video. And this is also something to explore too, because when we first had the video, it populated at 4 or 5 seconds and it only showed us that first scene. And when we spread it out, we can see that it goes for 16 seconds of videos that somebody else already layered in it for us. Or is it the same scene, but going through the night sky? So when you want to download it or when you want to use it, there's several different ways that you can do this. You'll press the share button. You can either send this to people, like if you have a team or you're putting their email. You can share the email you can share this graphic with, by giving the link, and then anybody who you're giving the link to can access the design. Now, when you click this, you can change these to like, okay, I'm going to send you guys the link so you can see it and like download it, but you can't edit it. But oftentimes and I like to do this personally with you guys, when I create something that is really not heavily Robyn branded, I like to just share with you guys the graphic that I made, and I'll send you guys this link so that you guys can come in and you can make a copy of it yourself and then change the font, change the background, change the colors, do whatever you want to do, add your logo to it so that you're creating it to be uniquely your look. And then this way, even when we're helping each other by using each other's voices and language for posts, there's still that uniqueness that makes it yours and doesn't feel to your audience like this is a weird post that she just posted from like somebody else. Or like, I don't know about you guys, but when there's like calls that I'm not actually in and I invite to it, sometimes I feel a little bit weird because my audience wants to see me. They don't always necessarily want to be invited to people's calls that they don't know anything about. But when I'm able to either get on and talk to them about why I'm inviting them to that call, or I'm able to make a graphic that looks similarly to my things to showcase that like I'm going to be there in the call, or I'll be there in the audience with you, I find that I get more interaction than if I'm just throwing something out there that somebody else made and not putting my own tweak onto it. So again, you can share the link in these different ways, but if you're wanting to download it yourself, you can go straight to like being connected to your Instagram or your Facebook page and just use the platform to post. I don't do this, but you definitely can set this up. I just come into download, and then this is where you'll have a bunch of different options of how you can save. This one is auto saving and suggesting that you save as an MP4 video, because this is the one that will be a video. So you'll see the scene moving in the background, you'll see the words moving. But if we save it as a PNG or a JPEG, then it's going to just be a static picture of like that, probably this first part of the scene. If you saved it as a PDF, either print or standard, I think it would be the same thing, a static picture there. You might be able to save it here as this, but you can see that this has a little crown next to it, meaning that you can't make SVGs unless you have you're paying for the pro part. You can also make little stickers, like you can make, these have been made by people who have made them into these little GIFs. So if you wanted to, I don't know, make a Healy sticker for Instagram, you can make them here as well and upload them onto the GIF section on Instagram, so that you could search like your own little stickers that you made for Healy as well. So there's like, I mean, there's literally so many things you can do with Canva. I like that it's like open territory to continue creating with. So for this one, you'd want to save it like this. And then see, for this one, when you're saving this, since this is a static post, it doesn't move, it's suggesting that I save it as a PNG. So if we save it this, now I have to come down and make sure that I want all three of them to download, but then I remember, well, I don't really need that one. And this first one, or the second one, I didn't like as much. I want just the first one. So pay attention to that, because sometimes, especially for me, like I'll make, I don't know, 10, 15 different versions and I only need one. So this way you're not filling up your phone or your computer with a bunch of different edits that you don't need of that one. There's, I wouldn't compress to do this lower quality if you're going to use it on anything, because it just won't look crystal clear when it downloads. You can also change the sizing here, but it's easier for you if you resize and know what you're resizing it to, rather than just pulling it, unless you have the exact dimensions that you're wanting to change it to. So, and these two things are only with the pro account, but this is something, this transparent background, that I use often when I'm making logos and graphics to take out. It's basically like, it makes it like a sticker. where it takes the rest of the, like if I made this with a transparent background, all of this pink would be gone and just the graphics would be floating like it's a sticker. So here, I'll show you guys, we'll download this one and then I'll upload it onto here and show you guys what it looks like. Do you guys have any questions so far? Or any other things that you're curious, like, how would I make this? How would I do that? So you guys can even kind of see here that there's no pink, it's just black there. So let's say, to show you guys, we're going to make this white. And then now the background is gone. Now it's simple on this because it was just a pink background. But if you're making like a sticker, or you wanted to make like a floating Healy without the background, now this is all together. It's one thing that can't be like, you know, all of the, you didn't have to, how I showed you guys, if you hold down and you scan, you can grab it all, but now it's just all in one. It's a sticker. And actually I could take this and re-download it as a GIF and put it up on Instagram as a GIF sticker if I wanted to. Not that anybody would want to necessarily use this but me, but still. So what did I just say? I wanted to show you guys. Oh, I'll show you really quickly something that just popped into my head. If you want to create something and you want to take the background out of an image, so I just literally got this off of Healy's website. Okay. So I want to edit photo. And again, this is a pro option. But when I click this, it's going to remove the background and just have the Healy. Now, not only can I do this with a Healy photo, but I can also do this with, let's do this with Atlas. There's my little sweet boy right after he was born. I find that the ones that are like pictures of humans take a little bit longer for them to grab. And sometimes like this one isn't as good as the other ones, right? And so you can come in and you can do magic edit. You can do magic eraser to like maybe change some of these, maybe add his arm back right there where they cut the blanket off. But even if you find something like, I don't know, this is just something that's on our family vision board. My husband wants a nice truck for work. So if I wanted to take the background out of this, and then I wanted to put, no, and I want this to be the background. Okay, again, I'm just going to position this back so that the truck comes up. Oh, grabbed the wrong thing. And not that it's necessarily like the best. I know that there are AI like content creator things that could do this way better, crisper, probably to like not cut off certain areas, though this one looks pretty good. It doesn't look like it cut the truck weird or anything. But you can create all kinds of things within here now. And now Canva even has a special, they have these new AI apps that are put in here where you can literally have it create an image for you. So if I want it to be, let's say, women sitting on hill watching sunrise. it will literally create the image that I am asking. And it creates it in the style that I want. This is like kind of like watercolory, but if I want to ask it to do something dreamy, I find that right now I've played around with it a bit. With people, it's very more like caricature-y looking. It doesn't look very real to me. Like it doesn't create a real looking human. But it's cool to play with, especially when you can't find what it is that you're looking for to create. And there are all different things that they've added to this for this new wave of AI being a part of everything now. So, okay, let me think what else I can show you guys. So yeah, I mean, like I create everything on Canva, down to like all the presentations that I do with you guys, all of these things, to compensation plan thing that I'm working on for everyone, all kinds of things. So you can make ebooks on here. Let me pull up an ebook. Here's one of our ebooks that I created. And you can get templates. I think the templates are so powerful to start with. I always started with a template in the beginning, and now I feel confident that I can create my own templates, but it's powerful to start with that template. So you're not just starting with a blank space. You could do something like, you know, like these are already created for you and they're so like fun, and change it up with your fonts, add your logo to make it your own. You can add little elements to change it to be more similar to your style. Let's see. So if you wanted to like create something on your own, let's say I'm recreating the invitation to this call. I know where that picture of me is. It's probably forever ago. So we'll use this one. And this is just I'm just going to show you guys how I went through and kind of made the invitation to this call, but just slightly different. I used a background. Here. I want to remove the background from this photo so that it's just the logo. Okay, so now I have that. Now I need a box that the writing goes in. I think I had another box that the time was in. So I had my logo somewhere. That is. Here, I'll use this is for my human design business. This is a different logo of mine. So add that, move this one up. And then let's say I just wanted to add a background. I'm not going to use the Frequency Mama one. I'm going to look for a different one. And I want to look up wildflowers. And I want it to be a photo. This one's perfect. What I did is I just grabbed it and I'm just sliding it over. And then I am going to get the perfect shot that I want. So I just move that over. I also want this to be really muted. So I'm going to put the transparency down. And I want these also to be transparent. And then to add text, you can play with these really cool titles that are already made. If you are, you don't have a specific font that you want to use, or it seems intimidating for you to create different versions of what the text looks like. Your stuff will look different here. This is what I have set with my branded stuff. So if I click on one of these, then I can move it up and start typing in there and typing in here. And so you can see how you can just build. My legs look like they're cut off, so I'm going to just bring this up like this, and you can create whatever it is. You can use these designs, these different templates, to see, use them as like a jumping off point. If you don't want to create something completely from your mind like that, you could say, could just grab any of these and move what you've done over into what is here and create it to be exactly what you're looking for. You can change the colors of these things or not. Okay, let's see. That alone is worth the pro version. Editing the background out of the pictures. Is that what you were commenting on, Amy? Yeah. I think when you have a bunch of different things for your business that cost $12 a month, then it really does add up. But for me, I have created so much on this that it is so worth it to me. And like I said, the font stuff is really important to me. And I wanted to be able to do these more creative things without just using the templates that were already there. So after some time, I didn't just jump right into having to pay for it. After some time of just getting frustrated with the limitations, I decided to do the pro. Have you made?
Yeah, I've had the pro for about 2 years now with my business, right? 2.5 years, separate of Healy. And I'm getting to the point where I'm getting frustrated. It's time to jump up. So it's kind of a personal thing, but it's definitely going to be worth it for me.
Yes, absolutely. Just say, I said, have you made videos with Canva? I have, sorry, I can't see. I have been having some frustrations with that, making some guided meditations. Yeah, for me too. Okay, ask that in another way. Have I made videos with Canva? Be more specific. Like the video that I just, this kind of a video that I'm uploading. Yeah. We'll wait for you to clarify that. Because you had said something about making some guided meditations, and I record my guided meditations with my podcast mic on Zoom. This is just my way of doing it. Because I didn't have GarageBand or anything like that on my Mac that I was using at first. So, and I find that the quality of the voice when you're using a podcast mic with Zoom is just next level compared to talking into your phone, which is what I used to do in the beginning of making guided meditations. And so I just record that, and then I just pull the audio file. I don't pull the video file from Zoom, just the audio. And then I use a few other programs to take my voice and layer it over music and make everything sound really great. I see you're here now, just say it.
Sorry, multitasking. So then maybe I just missed out when I tuned back in to see what you were doing. It looked like you were just doing an image. So I didn't realize you were doing video, but did you talk about how to snap? I've been having issues when I try to do the sound pieces. Did you talk about that?
I didn't talk about sound. So let's dive into that. I think there was one of these that, I think it's this one, that just like had sound on it. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Yeah.
But this one, just like this clip of that lady spinning, when I clicked on it over here, it just had sound. But let's try what happens for us to add sound onto this, which I've never done before. So what I would normally do on this, like this whole video, I download it and I'm going to put it up on Instagram. So what I would do is I would make sure it fits within that real time period, which I don't know what it is, like what, 2 minutes and something that you can have in a whole reel. So let's just say I make sure that this is just 60 seconds long, this video I've created. Then I go into reels, and then in reels, I upload the music rather than putting the music here.
I see.
And I don't think that because that's better, just because I never thought like you're thinking to put it here in the Canva.
Yeah.
So I'm like even thinking, how do we do that?
I mean, I've done it, but I was just having some issues, like where it wasn't snapping together, or like when I was trying to, duplicate it, it would show up, but then just, I wasn't able to format it in a way that made the sense that I needed. And so I just started to get frustrated. And then also I was turning the sound down. You have an option from 0 to 100, but when I would go there, it never changed the sound, not on the highlighted one or on the full sound. And so I was perplexed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit like, how do you add sound? I've never explored that, and I'm curious. Is it on, because you would upload it in here. So, okay, automatically sync to music.
I have to take this call again, so I'm sorry, I might not be able to.
Okay, just know it will be here on the recording for you. Okay, let's play around with this. So it looks like if we press play.
Welcome. Beginning by closing your eyes while in a comfortable position.
I think it's playing two things at a time, huh? Well, that's really interesting that you brought this up, because I'd never played with this before. So definitely, like, thank you for showing me this. Let's see what happens with this.
Focusing.
This is interesting. So I think quality wise.
Welcome. Go ahead and take a seat in a comfortable position.
This may actually be a really cool thing to do, because it might be even easier and clearer if you're uploading it from an actual like MP3 file versus like if you're in Instagram and you're on a reel. You have to like record what you're saying or what you want on the reel for it to be like an audio that then you can use. So this might be powerful for people who already have recordings, for example, like a guided meditation that they want to show a preview. If you're selling the guided meditation or you're inviting into like just to see aspects of you, I think that this could be maybe even more like tech savvy than doing it on reel. So I'll have to play around with this aspect of it to feel like confident, but now you guys have it. We figured it out, like where it comes from, how you get to this to add a sound. So you'd have to upload your sound onto the audio space. It gives you a space too where you can record yourself. So it's similar to the reels where you could just record yourself saying something. Okay, guys. All right. Well, I'm trying to think of everything else I could possibly show you guys about utilizing this, even though there are a million ways to use Canva. Do you guys have any specific questions or areas of Canva that you were hoping we would dive into? Okay, awesome, Jacqueline. Thank you. I'm glad that you're able to see enough to get started, and maybe at another time, what we can do is like an interactive training where everybody do it with me. Like, have your Canva up. Let's all create a post for Healy or whatever, and we'll all create it with our own little tweaks on it. Like, I'm looking up nature background, you're looking up space background, or whatever it is. So we all are having a similar post, but it'll all turn out completely unique because each person will be adding their own little elements into it. Because I find that like getting your hands in it and doing this is the way to master it, not just by watching me, but by going in and actually doing it. So maybe next Friday we'll have, 30 or 40 minutes that we can jump on together and all create something like step by step together on a call. Alrighty, just checking the notes or the chat. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, I look forward to the next time that we can dive into Canva together. All right, thank you all so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Robyn. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Have a great day, everybody.
You too.
Okay, ciao.
Bye.